Yo, what's going on today, YouTube? What is going on? So today we have not a really like a part video, but like at the same time we are upgrading something, and it's super important. Like, you guys probably should do this before this happens, but unfortunately I didn't know / care, and now I ended up in a situation where I almost didn't make it home without my truck absolutely overheating and just destroying everything because I just didn't want to pay attention to it. So what we are talking about today is going to be up under the hood here. Now, like I said, you guys can do this before you have this issue, or you could wait till you have an issue, which is not the ideal way to do it. But if you can see right here, we have a coolant leak that is spraying coolant all over the place. Also, if you look in there, you can see that my left side has been replaced, but my right side has not. So what we're going to be doing today is replacing that right side hose connection with one of these bad boys right here. Now, this is from Dorman. They do make a lot of GM stuff. I don't know if they only make GM stuff or if they make anything for anything else, but they're not a horrible company. They are made in China, but it is a stainless steel connector for our heater core hoses. So hopefully we're gonna have absolutely zero issues. I couldn't imagine having any issues with this, but regardless, that's what we're gonna be doing today. And we also got ourselves a heater core hose connector disconnector, which I'll show you guys how to use that in a second. But this cost me somewhere around 20 bucks. It was like 20 to 30 bucks, somewhere in that range. So really not the worst thing in the world. Part number is 800-409HP. I would have gotten both, but they only had one at my local shop, so we ended up getting just one because that's the only one. I only have one leaking right now, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. And out of the package, this thing looks like an absolute unit. We have a O-ring in there to seal against our pipes coming through the firewall, so that is good. This thing, it might be made in China, but you know, it's kind of hard to be any nicer than this. It's stainless steel and CNC aluminum, so yeah, it's kind of too basic of a part to really mess up. So yeah, we're gonna install it and hopefully everything checks out, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to do that right now. Yeah, see, it's just, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is just squirting out of there, which is not good. And this hose clamp will not come off. All right, hose clamp is certified off. Now I just need to get the hose. Yep, there we go. Unfortunately, that is going to happen, so expect to lose a whole bunch of coolant. And then, yeah, we're gonna get this thing off of there and see how disgusting it actually is. So now we're gonna be using our quick disconnect here. You pretty much just slide it over the steel lines in the back. Okay. All right, and just like that, after actually an insane amount of struggling for some reason, because this is probably the original one, no, it definitely is, we got it out. So as soon as I started putting pressure on this thing, literally the nipple came right off, so that is not good in itself. And then you can just tell, like, look at it in the sun, you can see right through the plastic. This thing is just absolutely cooked. No good, no good. So I'm definitely glad to know that we are replacing this today and putting a stainless steel one in that will never, ever go bad again. Like, just straight up look at the build quality difference. I don't know how somebody in China can invent something better than our tried and true GM techs, but you know, it's almost like they want you to break stuff so that you buy it through them. And of course, their parts are always the most expensive. So unfortunately, it comes to this, but our Chinese little Dorman piece is going to absolutely make this thing great. So I'm gonna put a little bit of lube on our O-ring, and then we're gonna slip this thing on. It should take half a second, and then just put the hose back on and we should be good. We're gonna fill it up with coolant, and then yeah, we should have no problems further. We got a little bit of grease on here, and it should just literally slide right in and then click. Yep, there's our click. Nice. And then if we take our hose and just should shove right on like it normally would. Yep, easy money. Super easy stuff. We had a little bit of trouble, but if your guys are in any better shape than that and not pre-cracked, you should have even less trouble than what I just went through. So super easy fix there. So we're gonna tighten this up, make sure there's no leaks, obviously fill our truck up with coolant, and we should be rocking and rolling, which is so nice because I have places to be tomorrow. All right, everything in there should be secure. Now it'll be time to fill ourselves up. Of course, we're gonna get our decks cool, and I just go 50-50 because why not? All right, now we are going to start our truck and turn our heat all the way up. Fuel pump on. Good. And then we'll take our heat, turn it all the way up, put some air to it, turn the heat up, just so that it goes through the heater core, and we know that for a fact. Squeeze this hose, get some water flowing through it. We're just gonna close the hood just so it's not. Yeah, so what I did was I overfilled the reservoir a little bit just because I know there's some air bubbles in there. We're gonna get the truck hot, and then we're gonna take it for a drive, make sure the heat's going, make sure everything's like that is just working properly. And then we're gonna come back and then make sure there's no leaks, because there should not be any leaks after that. So the thing is, you guys really want to get this done before that happens, because if you guys are far away, you're going to be either stranded, or if you really need to get home, the 2 heater core lines, you can cut them, you can quick disconnect if you for some reason have the quick disconnector, and you can loop them together. You'll have no heat, but you'll get home and the truck will hold its coolant. So if you have to do that, you can absolutely do that, but I wouldn't really recommend doing that. I would just, if you have an extra 40 bucks lying around and you want to do something to your truck that's gonna be a proven, like you literally almost have to do these, I would go do that, right? And then you should be absolutely golden. You should never have an issue with that again. I mean, sometimes your heater cores go bad, but other than that, you should have zero issues with the heater core. So we're gonna get in our truck, turn all of our switches on, right? So we're already at 111 degrees, but we're gonna go take it out for fuel and see where we're actually at. All right, so we're making our way down the road. We're currently at 120 degrees, and I already feel, I got it at 90 going to the head and the feet. I have it at 90 going to the upper and lower sections of the air, just to get the most amount of air out of it. And I already got heat coming out of the vents. So what that tells me is that we already have coolant in our heater core, and it's circulating the way it's supposed to. So that is obviously good. When we get to the gas station, I'm gonna check for leaks, and then we're gonna head back to the house, and I'm gonna show you guys my final thoughts and my final decisions. Currently at the moment, we are about 28 minutes as of right now into starting the job. So not including getting the parts, obviously, but you know, it was literally nothing. And I only did one side, but granted, you'll be in there doing the exact same thing, and you guys will literally add like another 5 minutes to it. So, and then once you get one down, you get the other one down pretty quick. But my other one does look replaced, which is good, because it's black and it's not like that ugly like OEM plastic. So the guy that replaced it obviously didn't get the metal one, cheap for whatever reason. Who knows who did it, which owner. But long story short, I put the metal one in there because I cannot stand having the feeling of things happening again. That's why I built my whole entire front end with kryptonite. Not sponsored. If you guys want to sponsor me, that'd be insane. But yeah, you put kryptonite front end parts in your GM trucks because you don't want to have to think about that going bad again. And you spend the extra dollars, you spend the extra pennies because you don't want to deal with that. And that, again, the front end issues are another thing that will leave you stranded on the side of the road. And there's no get home fix for something like that. So, you know, you got to do what you got to do. So we're going to hit the gas station. I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts in just a second. Alright, so we're filling up, and from the looks of it, I have no coolant leaks that I can see. Nothing down there looks new, so old car stuff, but when I get back to the house, I will know for sure. So we're going to test that out. We're going to take a deep dive into it, and I'll see you guys then. Everything's looking good in there. Obviously, it reeks of coolant because I spilled coolant all over the downpipe, so I'm just going to let the truck run for a while. We took it for a good drive. Flew down the highway a little bit, got the temps up. It's looking good. So obviously, once again, coolant soaked everywhere, and some of that residual stuff's gonna go on the ground, and it's not a new leak. So I noticed now that fixing that heater core issue, my temps don't get to operating temperature as fast. So we're at 172 and we just kind of cooked down the highway, went around back roads. You know, I drove for like a good minute, and we're only at 172. Operating temp for these things is like 180. So it's kind of weird. I mean, it makes complete sense, so I'm not really worried about it. Obviously, always be careful checking coolant, but our levels are good in there. So that's good. We are solid. We're looking good in terms of coolant. Little information about the channel. Some next up things that I want to do to the truck. One of them, huge for me, I want to replace this dome light with watermelon lights like you see in the Peterbilts. If you guys ever seen a Peterbilt, they have watermelon lights in the interior. It just like gives an ambient like look, so like red, green, blue, you know, whatever we decide to go with. It'll just give like the interior like an ambient color, and I think that's like the sickest thing ever. I seen somebody on my Snapchat do it and it was like actually sick. I was like, damn. So I'm gonna steal that idea. No big deal. Probably gonna be doing a chrome 45/90, some elbow out the side. It just, I think it looks better. That thing is holding up decent. Obviously, we're going to be getting the bed, you know, the normal stuff that I talk about in every single video, but those are the new things that I was thinking about doing. Also, just throwing this out there, how do we feel about a KX250 restoration video? I did get myself a KX250 project, and I am restoring it at the moment. That's why the Duramax is not getting as much love as it used to, because I'm getting a new-to-me bike ready for the D-Class next year. D-Class Champ Don is coming back out and flying down the track. So we are restoring a KX250 from 2003. It got all new bearings, new plastics, got graphics ordered for it with the channel logo on it, which is sick. But how do we feel about that? I might be putting that up there / vlogging when I ride. I don't really know. I could do a few things, but maybe incorporate that into the channel a little bit. But for now, the Duramax, you know, every 2 weeks or so we're uploading a video now, because obviously it slows down in the winter time, because who wants to work on these things outside in the winter? It kind of sucks. We're at like 20-degree weathers here in Connecticut in the Northeast. So sorry for rambling, but we're going to be ending the video out, so I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. If you guys want to watch me build this truck at all, the Don.87 on every single social media. Follow me there, Don.Eldridge on Snapchat. Obviously, I'm not going to add you back, blah, blah, blah. It's a personal app. So if you guys want to see the day-to-day thing, though, it is on my public story all the time. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.